Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. Now, the number of South Africans leaving the country on a permanent basis has increased exponentially, says John T. Leon, tax attorney at Tax Consulting South Africa. And many are opting for the island life in Mauritius. That's just you can almost throw a stone onto Mauritius from South Africa. But they're not only going there for its beauty, but certainly for greater financial and tax security. Aditi Bulel, lead advisory at the Temple Group in Mauritius, said, "The island seemingly offers a more stable political and financial climate, and its geographic location and affiliation to the African continent makes it an attractive option for South Africans. The island is fast-paced in its overall growth, seeking to expand its outreach globally and trying to keep up with global trends, such as financial technology and blockchain." She said, "Mauritius may still be a developing country compared to the UK, Australia or New Zealand, but it offers sound infrastructure, free public education to its residents, and reliable private and public healthcare facilities, unlike South Africa." Leon added that Mauritius is just a hop, skip and a jump from South Africa. This makes it still accessible to the home of the heart. But it gives South Africans the benefits of being outside South Africa's monetary area for exchange control and tax purposes. Now, we put up a video earlier tonight, about this very subject on tax, and it's becoming blindingly obvious that the ANC government are going to be going after the pension funds to try and pull themselves out of the big hole they've created because of corruption and incompetence, black privilege. Yeah, same thing. But here you can actually get your money out of their grasp. The lack of economic growth, the devastation of state capture, and recent talks of using people's hard-earned savings to bail out badly managed state-owned enterprises are making South Africans look for safe havens, such as Mauritius, where their assets will be protected. For the young entrepreneurs and company executives who are looking to emigrate and shift their assets to Mauritius, the most obvious choice would be the occupation permit as an investor. This would allow them to set up locally registered companies and run their businesses from Mauritius. The three categories of occupation permits are for the person seeking employment, for the person looking to be self-employed, for the person looking to set up his own company in Mauritius. Under the occupation permit, the investment required can differ from nothing to $100,000, as opposed to some countries. The immigration regime in Mauritius does not rely on a checklist system, but rather determines the eligibility of an application on a case-by-case basis. Occupation permits are valid for 3 years and are renewable upon the fulfillment of certain conditions. Bulel said there is an increasing and urgent demand from South Africans considering retirement and permanent residency in Mauritius. People seeking residency on a long-term basis will have to invest a minimum of $500,000. This can be done through the purchase of property under a scheme approved by the Economic Development Board, or through an investment into qualifying activities also approved by the board. For those skeptical of making a $500,000 investment without having experience living in the country first, there is the option of coming in on the above-mentioned occupation permits or on a residence permit as a retired non-citizen, where the applicant is above 50 years of age. This would allow the expat to discover living and or working in Mauritius for a minimum period of 3 years. Thereafter, at the time of renewing their permit, they can make an application for a permanent residence permit, subject to satisfying the higher criteria accompanying this application. If the aim of an expat is a long-term residency in Mauritius, this should be planned for at the first time of the first application itself to make sure that upon renewal of the permit, there will be no obstacle for an application to permanent residency. Bilal said the purchase of property will also allow an expat to apply for a residence permit, which will be valid for as long as that property is not sold to a third party. Investing in a qualifying activity makes the expat eligible to seek a permanent residence permit, which will span over a decade. Leon advised that once the decision has been made to relocate, it is important for people to follow the right procedures. They need to show that they have no intention of returning to South Africa. The South African Revenue Service, or SARS, will apply both the physical presence test as well as the ordinary resident test to determine the tax status of individuals who are living and working abroad. People who have obtained long-term residency in Mauritius will have the peace of mind that they are well on their way to not being tax resident of South Africa, especially when they've formalized their status with SARS and the SARB by using the financial emigration process. There is an exit charge in terms of capital gains tax, but immovable property in South Africa, pension funds, retirement annuities and preservation funds are all excluded from the exit charge, Leon said. When it comes to the costs, a main consideration for people wanting to emigrate to Mauritius is the initial relocation cost, as well as the cost of living in the new country. Mauritius ticks all the right boxes with competitive business setup costs, a more discretionary immigration process rather than strict illegal requirements, and a quicker route to permanent residency than countries such as the UK, US, and even Portugal. So I'm just putting this out there, guys. Mauritius could be an option for you, especially if you've got elderly parents in South Africa. It keeps you kind of in close contact. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video, and above all, stay safe. Bye for now.